Recently, officials have been looking for upcoming pandemics and world-changing diseases. I am hoping that we have learned lessons from COVID and its death toll. We definitely were not ready for COVID, and we have paid the price. One of the possible viruses that is starting to show up in several regions of the world is monkeypox. Monkeypox can be a deadly disease that is contracted from infected monkeys and other animals to humans. While it can appear much like COVID or the flu upon initial onset, there are stark differences between the two. We are still in the early phases of the most recent monkeypox outbreak, and this video should help you find out if it will be the next COVID. First, let's compare the symptoms. Monkeypox is a variant of the deadly smallpox virus and can be deadly. So far this year, monkeypox cases have been reported in 50 countries, many of them in Africa. The WHO has declared monkeypox a moderate global health emergency because it is an easily transmissible virus that can cause severe illness and even death. Monkeypox is a virus that is primarily spread through contact. It can be difficult to detect early in the disease process. The duration of the virus can range from about 5 to 21 days. Early symptoms of monkeypox include fever, rash, swollen lymph nodes, fatigue, and headache. Usually about 1 to 3 days after the onset of the fever, skin eruptions appear. The rash tends to be more concentrated on the face and extremities rather than on the trunk. It can also affect the mucous membranes of the mouth, genitalia, and eyes. The rash eventually becomes pus-filled lesions that dry up and fall off. The number of lesions varies from a few to several thousand. COVID symptoms can mimic the flu but quickly spread to respiratory organs, then to the digestive systems. The symptoms that are attributed to this disease are broad, ranging from cough and fever to heart and lung failure, and may have long-lasting effects. COVID is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It is a coronavirus, known as such, because the word corona means crown and refers to the appearance that coronaviruses get from the spike proteins sticking out of the virus. Monkeypox is due to the monkeypox virus, which is in a distinct family of viruses, the poxviruses. It also differs from the coronavirus in that it is a double-stranded DNA virus. A quick history of COVID and monkeypox. Both are thought to originate from an animal that transferred to humans. COVID was thought to originate in late 2019. Since then it has spread quickly across the world. Monkeypox reared its ugly head in 1958. It is a less deadly variant of the smallpox virus that usually resides in Africa. There occasionally occurs an outbreak of monkeypox in the United States, which is usually caused from the contact of infected pets and humans. Let's go over the means of spreading or how it can infect other people. COVID spreads primarily through the air. It travels by way of water droplets when you exhale respiratory secretions. This happens when you talk, sing, cough, or sneeze. Conversely, the monkeypox virus spreads primarily through direct contact with the fluid from skin lesions or other body fluids, or even through soiled bedding. Are there vaccines available against COVID and monkeypox? Yes, to some degree. There are vaccines against both the COVID and monkeypox viruses. There are 3 vaccines in the U.S. to prevent COVID, and other countries are said to have their own vaccines. These vaccines contain genetic material that is injected into your muscle, after which your body responds by making proteins and an antibody response to them. Monkeypox currently has 2 licensed vaccines. One is an injectable to prevent both smallpox and monkeypox. The other is licensed against smallpox, but has been shown to be effective against monkeypox during a recent outbreak. This method relies upon the administration of the vaccine by taking a small amount of virus in liquid and poking it into the skin with a specialized bifurcated needle. This creates local pus pockets, and after time develop into small scars. These are the scars that are often seen on individuals born before the 1970s. The treatments available. There are a few treatments against COVID that have been proven successful, such as the antivirals Paxlovid and Remdesivir. For monkeypox, there are also a few antivirals that are able to treat poxviruses in general. They have not been studied specifically for the treatments of monkeypox. One, namely tecorivamat, is an antiviral drug with recent regulatory approval from the European Medicines Agency. They should help, but, as I have mentioned before, these antivirals have not been fully studied for monkeypox. Regarding the morbidity of each or how deadly they are, COVID has certainly killed more than 6.3 million people worldwide. Much of because we were not ready for it. The current monkeypox version that we are seeing has a much lower death rate, around 1 to 6%. As a note, there are other variants of monkeypox whose death rates are up to 10%. So we need to ask ourselves, will monkeypox be the next pandemic? As we have discussed, the lower death rate combined with the source of spread being contact, it does not look like it. But as all things in nature, viruses change and mutate. There is no telling what Mother Nature has in store for us. Our best defense is to keep ourselves healthy, be mindful of our hygiene, and if there are some signs of sickness, stay home and rest. If it gets worse, seek medical attention. Finally, although the two share some key features in their initial symptoms, the two are two drastically different viruses. Both can be deadly, but the difference is in the ability of the virus to spread and the relative ease of identification. Monkeypox is easier to identify as there are pus-filled welts over the body. It can get confused with other pox, so it should be identified by a professional. Overall, it seems that monkeypox is definitely something to be concerned about, but I do not think it is on par with the contagion of COVID. We are still in the early stages of understanding the current monkeypox outbreak. The WHO continues to closely monitor the monkeypox situation and supports international coordination and information sharing. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.